Hello, this is Josh Hunter, and I'm here on the planet Earth. Uh, so I normally don't do like, oh, here's the latest update and that type of thing, but I thought it was there. All right, there's some inconsistencies that I think are kind of going to be hard to not notice. But I mean, I suppose it is a. All right, so as you may or may not know, I'm in the city of Santa Monica, California. Um, and all right, so they just apparently they closed a. Maybe I shouldn't say this because then it'd be like, oh, I'd be whatever. Who gives a shit? I'm just saying it's the subtle things that you have to notice. Okay, sometimes it's very easy to notice loud things, people screaming at you, and these types of things. But some things are like the things that are most devastating started out very quietly. Okay, the most devastating things did not begin in a loud way. So they are now closing, or I think they're going to try and close. I don't know if they will. They're going to try and close the beaches, and specifically they're going to try and close Santa Monica Beach. So here's a question. Okay, why did they? All right. Well, they said maybe they were reacting to. They said there were too many people here on the beach. And I think in the news article they specifically said Santa Monica, that there were too many people in Santa Monica. They didn't say any other beaches. They didn't say Malibu Beach, Seal Beach, Venice Beach, here in Santa Monica. This place I've been for the last 6 months. I haven't left this city in 6 months. Alright. So first they decide they're going to keep the bathrooms open later. They can say, okay, now that we have this coronavirus that we're trying to stop, we're going to open up the bathrooms and keep them open later till midnight. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, then we're going to close the pier, okay, completely, but we're going to keep the farmers market open. All right, the farmers market I think has been closed for a couple of days, but I'm saying initially, these are inconsistencies. Now look, I'm not like I like Santa Monica, okay? The bathrooms are nice, it's a nice place. The community never really warmed up to me, and I don't really understand why. Hollywood warmed up to me, downtown LA, or the financial district anyway, they didn't really have an opportunity. They didn't really have an opportunity to warm up to me, and most of the places I go, it's like, there's. But actually, the people who work in Santa Monica have warmed up to me, or like the ambassadors and the people who work on the promenade and that type of thing. But the actual people who live here, I don't know, because in Hollywood, like these guys, like they just they could not help but come up to me and talk to me, like they couldn't help it. But in Santa Monica, they are very quiet. I think it's a type of diplomacy, if I'm not mistaken. It's a type of diplomacy to keep their distance from me. It's the original social distancing. All right. Anyway, all right. So now they're going to close the beach, and even in the article they said, all right, what I'm trying to show is that they're like just basic inconsistencies. Okay, even in the article they say okay, they're gonna close, some of these things. All right, the beach will be closed. So they're gonna close Palisades Park, is what they're saying, for like starting on midnight. Okay, starting midnight yesterday, and there are still people like walking around here. Like, is I understand this is some new thing, I guess, and we don't really know how to deal with this. But like I'm saying, people were existing before this happened, right? People know how to make plans, right? Did no one plan for this? Why did no one plan potentially? The show 24 has been on television since 2001, okay, and that didn't get anyone like say, hey, we better fucking come up with a contingency just in case that. I'm not saying that like this is like a terrorist act or something. It could be, but it's kind of like lazy. You know, I wouldn't. Like, this is a very like this is like a very lazy. You know, it's like people who's like, we kind of hate America, but I don't know. We're just okay. Anyway, what I'm saying is like since like 2001, okay, they've had so many. So what? It's like we've had we've had we've had opportunities to plan for this exact thing that is happening. Okay, this is nearly 20 years to plan for this, and like it's been like, what do you call that? A gaffe, you know, like a, you know. Did you know that I think I brought this up before, but I'll say it again. Did you know that Dr. Seuss, his first book that he ever wrote was called something? I think Dr. Seuss's like Big Book of Boners or something, because in the old days, boner meant mistake. All right, this is like what is. Nobody had a plan. Nobody, and all the people who work for government, all the people who are supposed to be responsible for this, nobody. There's nothing written down that said, okay, in case this happens. I mean, we have people who are programmers, right? I mean, people who work on computers. I mean, in computers, you have to, when you are designing and coding software, I mean, you have to say, okay, if this happens, then do this. And as far as I know, I've never had to code any type of software, but I mean, it makes sense that at least in your major cities, you would have already had it. It should be seamless. It should be fucking seamless by this point, okay? Which, like, it seems to me like very many people are asleep at the wheel. Like, that's what I'm saying. People don't care about their life. There's like, when I look around, like I say, like, people don't care. All right, I'm not, when I say you people, I'm not referring to everybody, okay? And I'm not, this is not like a, all right, generally speaking, my attitude towards, you know, people who live on the earth could use some improvement. I understand. But, you know, it should have already been written what to do in case of a major virus. In case there should be quarantine procedures already in place. They shouldn't have had on the spot to try and think, oh, well, what do we do? So now they're closing the park. No, they're going to try to anyway. And going to try and close the beach as well. But, you know, you can't. And this is also what I've been saying, okay? You cannot guard the beach, okay? Like, I'm saying, like, this is not a well-guarded place. Like, you can't. Like, do people care about the country that they live in? I'm not saying you have to go into some super militarized state, okay? They're just basic things, you know, for people who are responsible for the protection of their country, of the people who live in their country. But, you know, when everyone's so busy singing all the goddamn time, it's kind of hard to be thinking. What's the world coming to? What's the world coming to? Alright. So anyway, the inconsistencies that I wanted to point out was, like I said, first, alright, so once the virus became like this, like, alright, we better fucking pay attention. Then, you know, they opened up the bathrooms and made them open later, okay? Like, kept them open till midnight, okay? Then, you know, they closed the pier, but they kept the farmer's market open, okay? Proof of inconsistency. And now in the report that I read, they said they're gonna close. Oh, that's funny. See, you need to know who. You need to know who the boss is, okay? Because I mean, by my count, like, there's not. I try to encourage people to use their brain. Anyway. So anyway, in the news email that I read, they said they were going to close the beaches, and then they're going to close the neighboring, like, you know, public areas or whatever. So they're going to try and close Palisades Park, which is where I am. And then they're also going to try and close but in the email, the news email thing, I get my news from Google News. It just sends me like a thing every morning. I don't like go on some fancy schmancy website. I just like Google News like just sends me like the top 3 stories, and I just Anyway, I kind of like the sound of my voice. I feel like adult. I mean, I am an adult, but I mean, I just feel like, I don't know, like if I was someone who wasn't me listening to me, I'd be like, I kind of like the tone of that. All right. Anyway, so they're saying there's a temporary closure of Palisades Park for 3 days. Like, they're gonna close the beach till April 20th or late April or something. But the beach is the Palisades Park is only be closed for 3 days. And what is that supposed to encourage people to not be here for 3? Like, okay, either someone really, 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 really knows what they're doing, or it's a shit show. Okay, and this is the reason. Look, I'm not against people like smoking marijuana. Okay, but there are effects. Okay, you have to do this slowly. What do you call it? In staggered steps. Okay, I'm not against the use of like 1 or 2 people using marijuana, but you got to realize social media changes things. Okay, all of our ideas about what should or should not happen is based upon years and years and years and years and years without people being in very close contact, at least through communication. Okay, I mean, you have people. I mean, we have 100 years in the sudden advancement and all this technology. So millions of people smoking marijuana at the same time is not the same thing as like a couple of hippies who can't fucking like call each other in like the 60s or something. It's not the same thing. The pot is stronger. Okay, the communication is more effective, and we don't know what the ultimate effect is of tons of people being high at the same time. All right? Yes, individually. Yeah, one person, you get high, you say, oh, nothing happened. See, I smoked weed and I can still go to work and I can still do all this. Yes, one person. Sure. But groups of people, there is this is the point of thinking 10 steps ahead. 10 steps, at least 10 steps ahead. If you want to be safe, okay, if safety is in mind, if your main goal isn't entertainment, and you are concerned about actual safety, real safety, lasting safety, okay, you need people who can think 10 steps ahead. People who aren't concerned about their fucking position or their title. Okay, people who just do the work. One time I was really drunk and I was walking by the statue they have in Santa Monica, of Santa Monica. And sometimes when I get drunk, I just start, I don't necessarily like start acting or whatever, but I have like, I just, my imagination, and I was walking by the statue of Santa Monica, and I was like, I don't know, suddenly I started imagining this scenario as if, as if like, like I had like known like Santa Monica, like when she was like around, but now I'm alive, and now she's like somewhere else, and I'm like, you see what I told you? You should have. I don't know if I said this or if I just thought it. I was like, you see, I just do things. You got to do all this ceremony, all this circumstance, but I just do it. You see what happens when you just. All right. Anyway, so I'm not, saying that Santa Monica, there's anything wrong with Santa Monica or whatever. I'm not saying there's like a problem or whatever. I'm just, there's even more. I'm just saying, okay, if you care about a place, it's gonna show. It's gonna be evident. If there's someone thinking in charge or whatever, you're not gonna, So, I mean, I wouldn't recommend, fucking closing this place, because I mean, I'm here. Every time I'm forced to move, needlessly, okay, you can literally trace that. You can literally see the effect of what happens every time that I've been forced to move, like needlessly. You can see it. You can. All right. Anyway, Thanks for watching, and good luck to me. Good luck to me, Josh Hunter.